Tonight, justice at last for a murdered teenager. Jackie Montgomery was attacked in 1975. Despite her family knowing who killed the 15-year-old, it took decades and a DNA match to convict him.
She suffered, that girl, you know. She was a little girl, you know. She suffered. She didn't deserve what she got, but he deserved what he got just now.
Also on the programme, police investigate a dog attack which has left one woman dead.
Listen, are you a con man, sir?
No, I'm a man of God.
The bishop, guilty of fraud for selling a bogus COVID cure, defends his treatment oil. Plus, gunning for the title, how this season's derby is creating more division than ever. Good evening. It has taken nearly 50 years, but today justice was finally served for the family of a 15-year-old from Islington who was raped and murdered in 1975. Pensioner Dennis McGrory has been jailed for at least 25 years for taking the life of Jackie Montgomery. He was cleared the year after her murder, but it took another 4 decades, a 1 in a billion DNA match and a change to the law to finally get him behind bars. Throughout, Jackie's family knew he was the man responsible. Here's our senior correspondent, Ron K. Phillips.
Brutally murdered when she was just 15 years old, Jackie Montgomery was described by her family as courageous and bright. She died in 1975, but it has taken almost half a century to get justice. Her 2 sisters and other family members were there to see the man responsible finally jailed.
Overjoyed is an understatement. Yeah, overwhelmed.
Dennis McGrory was 28 when he carried out the brutal attack. He'd been drinking heavily, and a witness who saw him after the murder said he was visibly shaking and excitable. During the trial, the court heard that McGrory had been wild with rage when he carried out the murder. He'd come to this road in Islington looking for his former partner, who was also Jackie's aunt. When he couldn't find her, he took out his anger on the teenager, stabbing her several times, raping her and then strangling her with the flex from an iron. McGrory was quickly arrested, and images taken by police of him at the time show he had a number of visible injuries. He was charged with Jackie's murder, but was acquitted on the direction of the judge. Decades later, justice finally caught up with him after swabs from Jackie's body produced a 1 in a billion DNA match, and all thanks to the original forensic samples taken from Jackie after she was killed.
And the original careful logging of samples by the scientists then was what allowed our modern expert scientists with DNA to get a profile and to find that that profile was a match to Dennis McGrory.
Sentencing McGrory to a minimum term of 25 years, the judge, Mr. Justice Bryan, told him he had no doubt he intended to kill the teenager.
You have shown not one iota of remorse or compassion for Jackie or Jackie's family, or for what you have done.
It was the change in the double jeopardy laws which meant McGrory, who must have thought he'd gotten away with murder, could be tried for the second time. Now 75, his sentence means he will almost certainly die in prison. Ron K. Phillips, ITV News.
Next tonight, police are investigating after a 28-year-old woman was killed in a dog attack in Surrey. Armed officers were called to the incident in Caterham yesterday afternoon, where 8 dogs were detained and a second woman was taken to hospital with bites. Carolyn Sim is in Caterham for us now. Carolyn.
Well, just in the last few minutes, police have lifted the cordon and we've been able to come up onto Gravelly Hill where the attack happened. There's just one police van there as forensic officers continue their investigations. What we know is that the woman who died was 28 years old and she was from London. Another woman who wasn't known to the 28-year-old was treated in hospital. She was bitten as well, but she's since been discharged. Now, these 8 dogs have now been taken into police custody and all of their owners have now been informed. And Surrey Police told us earlier today that none of those dogs are banned breeds. Inspector Lindsay Watley gave us this update earlier today.
This is a tragic incident where a young woman has sadly lost her life, and our thoughts are with her family and friends. I know that these events will be of a real concern to the local community, and I would like to reassure residents that we are confident that all the dogs involved are in the custody of police.
Well, I've been speaking to locals here who tell me it's not unusual to see people with multiple dogs handled up here on Gravelly Hill. Animal charities do recommend that only 4 dogs are handled at one time, and some councils have their own rules. Here in Tandridge, you're not supposed to handle more than 6 dogs at a time. Well, Richard Breach, who runs a dog kennel near here, told me earlier today he thinks those rules need to be tightened.
99% of the time they'll get it right, they'll be all right. But it's that 1% that 2 dogs that just don't get on. And if you've got 6 and you've got 2 fighting, what are you doing with the other 4 to sort out those 2?
Well, a post-mortem will be carried out in the coming days as police continue to question witnesses who may have been here yesterday and can help them understand exactly how this tragic event happened.
Carolyn in Caterham, thank you very much. A man has been jailed for life after stabbing his girlfriend more than 30 times. Jay Clark accused Kaylin Hunter of cheating before attacking her and trying to slit her throat. Hunter survived, but with serious injuries. Clark has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, but the jury rejected his defence of insanity and unanimously convicted him of murder. Police are appealing for help to find a teenager who has gone missing from South London. Cosmas Hungwa is 15 and has been missing since the start of December. They believe he may have travelled to Brighton and are asking anyone with information to come forward. And the Minister for London, Paul Scully, is considering running for London Mayor at the next election. Scully, who is currently the MP for Sutton and Cheam, told ITV News London that he would put himself forward if he thought he would be the best person to beat Sadiq Khan at the election in May next year. A bishop who is being sentenced for selling a bogus cure for COVID-19 has told ITV News London that he stands by his £91 plague protection oil, saying no one who used them ever died from the disease. Bishop Climate Wiseman was found guilty of fraud over claims the kit, which contained ingredients such as olive oil, would stop them from dropping dead. With the latest, here's Daniel Henry.
This man claimed to have the cure for COVID.
God did cure through it. Nobody died out of COVID.
He described his concoctions as miracles.
But you sold cedarwood oil to vulnerable people who didn't, who could have been ill. You could have made them ill.
No, they were never healed. They were all healed.
The jury said that was fraudulent. Are you a con man, sir?
No, I'm a man of God.
Bishop Climate Wiseman has a loyal following.
You can see it's got salt. It's mixed with salt.
He encouraged them to shell out £91 for the so-called plague protection oil and showed them how to use it.
Because I remember this one is made of special ingredients from the Bible.
The Kingdom Church is a 24-hour healing service and a Christian bookstore, but that's not why Bishop Climate Wiseman was in court today. He was there because of the oils he was selling, the ones that claimed to cure COVID when there was no chance of them doing so.
You were offering people false hope.
No, listen. How can you say it's false hope when there are people who God deliver? It's there, it's evident. The reason here is not what is that about. The reason why my conscience is clear right now, yeah? I've never benefited myself in a single penny from that. All what I have done here is I offer the solution.
Because what you're offering is something that doesn't work.
Listen, how do you know? Has anyone tested it?
Cedar oil cannot cure COVID.
How do you know that?
Cedar oil is not a cure.
Have you ever known that? It's not even, listen to me, it's not even cedar wood, it's not even hyssop. Listen to me, it's not even olive oil, whatever it is. Listen to me, there is also the power of God on it. But you ask people who were, those people who, there's no price you can put for life.
Bishop Climate was due to be sentenced today, but that will now be adjourned to another date. While the church itself hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, the oil still appears to be on sale online. Daniel Henry, ITV News.
Still to come, we'll have the weekend weather forecast, plus In the sport, will North London go red or white? We'll be speaking to two Strictly stars. Hello guys, stay where you are. And Cirque du Sally, what happened when she was let loose at the Royal Albert Hall? But first, one of India's most famous living spiritual leaders is here, and he has a particular message for Londoners when it comes to tackling loneliness and even violence. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar sat down with our reporter Anila Dami during his trip to meet supporters.
One of India's most famous spiritual leaders, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, has amassed a global following with his teaching that meditation is the path to inner peace and thus world peace. His The Art of Living is one of the largest volunteer-based organisations in the world, and with over 20 million people having taken his programme, it's no surprise that as we sit for our interview in London Bridge, there's a room full of people wanting to hear his words.
You know, in the world, the first country to announce a loneliness ministry is London, is the UK, where you have recognized the real issue with people. And yoga and meditation are the best solution to feeling of loneliness or depression or some sort of aggression that people are facing.
I point out some might say that's easier said than done.
Sometimes it is so unbelievable that such a simple thing can have such a profound impact. We spend so much time in the traffic, we spend so much time watching television and on the social media. Certainly we can spend a little time for ourselves.
Homicide rates in London have fallen last year, but you believe in a violence-free society. Do you think that we can achieve that, and how do you think that could happen?
See, neither at home nor in school we are taught how to manage our aggression. And it's natural for people to feel that rage and anger. It's human. But we must learn how to manage that when such a rage comes in.
Gurudev is reaching out to his followers and communities here with talks and meditation workshops. Back in the UK after 7 years, with a busy schedule in our bustling city, he sits smiling and serene.
If you have one message for our London viewers, what would it be?
I know we are all going through a tough time in the world now, but keep up your spirit and hope for the best to happen.
Leaving us and this room full of people with the message of hope. Anila Dami, ITV News.
The ITV News continues at 6:30. Here's a look ahead now with Lucrezia.
Coming up, a retrial looms for the Manchester City star accused of rape. Benjamin Mendy was today found not guilty of 6 counts, but he's expected back in the dock in June after jurors failed to reach a verdict on another 2 charges. Also ahead, why Britain's pubs are being praised for a pint-sized bit of good news on the economy and... Tributes to Lisa Marie Presley, the singer-songwriter and only daughter of Elvis, who has died at the age of 54. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
The North London derby gets underway this weekend. Here's the sport.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Arsenal have had the season of dreams so far as they sit top of the Premier League table, 5 points clear of champions Manchester City. But can they really go all the way and take the title? Spurs striker Harry Kane has ever more reason than normal to want to get a goal against the Gunners. Warren Nettleford explains.
If you've forgotten there's a big match on this weekend, here's a reminder. Will North London be red or will it be white? These Year 5 pupils at Lancasterian Primary School, which is in the shadow of the Tottenham Stadium, aren't just passionate. they've got the tactical smarts to know why their team will win.
Tottenham will have the ball, but the attackers will surround them, and the one in the middle will go for the ball. Kane's coming in, and he does what he does all the time, scoring, bottom corner, top corner. He could even do a bicycle kick, who knows?
If only it were this easy. Right now, Arsenal are flying high in the league, 5 points clear of Manchester City, 11 points clear of Tottenham. It all sounds rosy. So today, I asked the Arsenal boss. The players aren't feeling any kind of pressure right now.
I think the players are in a really good emotional state, that they are excited, they are enjoying playing together, and obviously we are in a good position, so we have to now improve a lot of things that we still have to do and maintain a lot of the good things that have taken us this far.
But if anyone can stop Arsenal, it's the England captain, Harry Kane. He scored 14 goals in 18 North London derbies. And if he needs extra motivation, here it is. Jimmy Greaves is a Spurs goal-scoring legend who stands alone at the top of the record books. Harry Kane needs just one more goal to equal his club record of 266 goals.
I'm sure that he's going to beat this record, and he's doing something of incredible. And at the same time, we try to help him. And if he scores, he helps us.
Maybe Spurs should be confident. They haven't lost a game to Arsenal at their new ground. But as ever, the fans are divided.
It's going to be 3 to Tottenham, 0 to Arsenal.
You sound confident. Why is that?
Because Tottenham have really good players, and they'll keep on going even if they miss. Arsenal are going to win the league because the players are amazing, and they always troubleshoot ideas that either fail or work, but they keep trying no matter what. They take risks.
So, Tottenham back in the top 4 race, or Arsenal daring to dream of the league title? Whatever happens, the shouting will all be over after 90 minutes on Sunday. Warren Nettleford, ITV News.
It's getting nasty there. There's another London derby in the Women's Super League this weekend as Arsenal take on Chelsea. Sunday's game has sold nearly 50,000 tickets, with fans keen to see first and second in the table battle it out. The Arsenal manager is looking forward to the challenge.
It's the next game, so it's the most important one. We've played some thrilling games against Chelsea before, and we like to play these kinds of games, and we have the privilege to play it at the Emirates in front of our home fans, and with a number of tickets sold, I think it's going to be a great occasion.
In netball, England take on Jamaica at the Copper Box Arena in Stratford tomorrow in the second match of a 3-match series. The Vitality Roses confidently dispatched Jamaica in Manchester on Wednesday, winning 73 points to 52. Now, he paso-doblayed his way to Blackpool on Strictly, scoring a couple of tens as early as week 3. No surprise then, presenter and DJ Tyler West is about to go on tour with the show. Before we speak to him and partner Diane, let's see them in action.
All lined up in a wedding group, here we are for a photograph. We're all dressed up in a morning suit, all trying not to laugh. Since the early caveman...
Tyler and Diane, thank you so much for joining us. Tyler, how are rehearsals going?
Do you know what? It's an absolute dream to be back dancing. I was like a little Jamaican lost Billy Elliot looking at my dance shoes across the room in the time that I had off. But yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, man. I do sound a bit like a pug. Asthma's playing up, but you know what? We're back at it. It's great.
Maybe I should have asked the expert's opinion. Diane, how do you think he's doing? Has he got better since the show ended?
Have I got better?
I am not going to lie. Tyler is amazing. As much as I want to say no, he's got worse. He has gotten better. I feel like he left at a time where he's like, no, I just want to keep dancing. And he's come back and he's showing me that he can definitely dance. He's brilliant.
Love that.
It does sound a bit like a school report where you say, yeah, he really, really does try hard. Tyler, tell us about the show. Is it true that it's directed by the scary judge, Mr. Revel Horwood?
It actually is, and he still is, in fact, that scary. He definitely is. The show is actually looking phenomenal. I'm not just saying that as well. Like, we've been in rehearsals all this week, and I'm actually very surprised the fact that I'm able to complete the show, for one. But everybody's doing an amazing job. We've been putting in the hours and graft, and we're just so excited that so many people get to come and experience this on an arena stage, and just like as many people, thousands of people. I mean, I keep saying thousands, and that's making my belly go a bit funny, but thousands of people are going to be seeing the Strictly experience live, which is amazing, man.
And actually, the power's not in the judges' hands, is it? The people in the audience can vote as to who gets the glitter ball that night.
It takes them, right?
Yeah, it's very exciting. The audience gets a chance to text in and say who they want to be their winner for the night. So each show, there could be a different winner. There might be the same winner throughout the tour. But yeah, the audience get to choose who they want to lift the glitter ball at the end, which, by the way, we would love it to be us.
Yeah, we would love it to be us.
If you're coming to the tour, then text Tyler and Diane.
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, that's got to be on merit. And speaking of which, it is a fantastic lineup there with you this year. Who do you think is the competition?
Oh, well, it's obviously, well, Hamza's the clear competition.
I mean,
because
he's brilliant.
He's won it already.
But all of them. I'm not just saying this. I feel like this is. I've done the tour, you know, quite a few times now. This year, everyone is just coming out with dance after dance, and they're just absolutely killing it. It's incredible, incredible. They're all so talented.
Tyler, what's the thing you're most nervous of? Dare I mention the salsa?
Oh, sore subject there. Sore subject, all right? Do you know what? One of my favourite dances right there. One of my favourite dances. I think the thing that I'm most nervous about is going out there. I mean, there's a lot of lifts in our dances. There's a lot of, you know, risky moves, and doing that in front of, you know, thousands and thousands of people. It definitely packs on the pressure. But I think overall, it's just excitement. It genuinely is just excitement to go out there and hear the roar of an audience again. Can't wait for it.
And you're going to do a Charleston. I thought you were fantastic when you did that.
Was that your favourite? Was it your favourite? Okay.
I love Charleston.
It was our favourite, wasn't it?
The Charleston was up there. I mean, it could be... I mean, the dances that we're doing is definitely an audience favourite. It's definitely some of our favourites. And we've got some new dances as well, which has been good. So we're dancing alongside the pros. Trying to keep up with Diane is a mission in itself.
Listen, guys, it sounds fantastic. Wishing you lots of luck. You're at the O2 Arena from the 3rd to the 5th of February, and I know you're going around the country as well. Thank you so much, Diane and Tyler.
Thank you.
And there was a big surprise for fans at the 1975's gig in the O2 last night when a special guest appeared on stage. Taylor Swift, of course, who's making a bit of a habit of turning up at London shows. She came on to perform her song Anti-Hero for the first time. It's part of her latest album, Midnights. OK, let's get a reminder now of our top stories in London. A man who raped and killed a teenager nearly 50 years ago has been jailed for life. Dennis McGrory killed 15-year-old Jackie Montgomery at her home in Islington in 1975. On to the weather now. Here's Helen.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello again, a very good evening to you. Well, finally a chance to recover today. Plenty of sunshine, but stand by for more turbulent times through the weekend. So those strong winds will be back, spells of heavy, persistent rain, and thereafter, actually, temperatures really take a knock into the early stages of next week. This is that system in question, really working its way in quickly this evening and overnight, dumping a good deal of wet weather on us by tomorrow morning. And in its wake, that northerly airflow cooling things down. Temperatures below average again for some by Monday and Tuesday. Out there at the moment, actually, it's a quiet enough evening, but it won't last long. Into the early hours of the morning, attention then turning to these heavy outbreaks of rain. They could well turn torrential for a time and really sticking around out there as well. So all of this does mean our temperatures actually on the rise overnight tonight. But needless to say, it will be a grotty Saturday morning out there. Not only plenty of rain and spray on the roads, but very strong winds, so they could be gusting up to around 40, 45 miles an hour at their peak. And notice that wet weather really sticking around as it tracks west to east. But generally, that said, the second half of the day, the afternoon, is looking much drier. And actually, as that system clears out towards the east, we'll get some sunshine making a return behind it. Bit by bit, those wind speeds moderating, but also notice a downturn in our temperatures. So again, they'll peak earlier in the day and tail off as that system clears off towards the east. So behind that, well, a much cooler night on Saturday. Yes, it'll be quieter nonetheless, and actually a much more dry and bright weather come Sunday. We do have another system working in potentially, but notice by Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday a knock in those temperatures. Bye-bye.
Valent sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Finally, you know it's a serious business when a venue brings in reinforcements before hosting a show. Steel reinforcements. Parts of the Royal Albert Hall have had to be strengthened for Cirque du Soleil's latest extravaganza. Its new acts and daredevil stunts were enough to put Sally in a spin.
They are gravity and sanity-defying acts and are about to be shown in London for the first time as Cirque du Soleil returns.
Quick story for you. On our honeymoon, we went to Las Vegas and we either had the choice of seeing Cirque du Soleil or New Kids on the Block and the Backstreet Boys. Now, I won't deny it, the lads were amazing, but I always regretted not seeing Cirque du Soleil. So what a treat to be here at the Royal Albert Hall, where I not only get to preview a bit of their new show, but I get to have a go as well.
The show this time is called Curious and is full of incredible acrobatics. This huge and unique trampoline needs 6 people jumping to send 1 person up. But when they go, they really go.
How do you end up becoming a trampolinist with Cirque du Soleil, Jack?
I mean, when I was a young child, I was a very clumsy boy. So
No.
my mum took me to gymnastics so I could learn how to fall properly. I've got a few scars on my head from when I was a kid.
But even Jack has never bounced this high before.
The first time you jumped on that and hit 10 metres, what was that like?
Quite scary.
As well as the acts, the outfits are well worth a look too.
Here in the vaults of the Royal Albert Hall, they have some amazing costumes. For a show called Curious, there are some curious pieces too. Look at this hat, tallest top hat I've ever seen. And hair, anyone? And then this piece is gorgeous. This is for part of a fish costume. There we go, what do you think of that? Fish face? I don't think they'll sign me.
Anne here is an aerialist, and it goes without saying this is even harder than it looks.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting really far.
And you can hang.
What a loser. But the puny arm muscles weren't the only problem, for I had not considered the effect of the spinning.
Oh, I'll tell you how much that just makes me feel so sick. So sick. Oh.
As they led me off to a dark corner, I got to enjoy some more of the show that is so at home here in the Royal Albert Hall.
It takes you out of your daily life for a moment and it takes you somewhere else entirely. And then the show will wrap up and you're really like, oh, wow, that was 2 hours.
What just happened?
Yeah. That's what we're trying. Yeah,
and can I add, now that I've fully recovered, with my hand truly on my heart, don't bother trying any of this at home. Sally Williams, ITV News at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wasn't that the most Sally thing in the world to tell you about her honeymoon before the actual show that we wanted to hear about? Never mind, both sounded fantastic. We better leave it there, I think. Lucrezia is here next with the ITV Evening News from all of us on the London team. Thank you for watching and have a lovely weekend.